In Vancouver, the job market story for immigrants and international students in 2025-2026 often feels like this. You arrive with ambition and usually credentials, you apply everywhere, and the city answers with silence, or a must-have Canadian experience line that sounds polite but lands like a locked door. One reason it stings is that the barriers aren't just personal, they're structural. Overqualification is a headline example. In September 2025, Statistics Canada reported 34.7% of recent immigrants said they were overqualified for their job, up from the year before. That's not people didn't try hard enough. That's a system that struggles to translate global talent into local opportunity. The Canadian experience loop and why it's not just annoying. If you've ever been told your resume is impressive, but do you have Canadian experience? You've met the loop. You can't get the job without local experience, and you can't get local experience without the job. Canada's Library of Parliament summarizes this as a common employer requirement alongside language, credential uncertainty, and discrimination. And decades of research have been blunt. Employers often discount foreign experience and education, and biases can shape hiring even when candidates are similarly qualified. In Vancouver specifically, this plays out in a way that's extra visible because the city is expensive. You can't just volunteer for 6 months when rent is due. So people take survival jobs, food service, retail, security, while their degrees sit on the sidelines. Credential recognition and licensing, the slowest gate in the city. Even when an employer wants to say yes, regulated professions can't. Licensing and credential recognition can be slow, expensive, and confusing, especially for internationally trained professionals. In late 2025, the federal government published an evaluation of its foreign credential recognition program, covering 2019-2024, reflecting how central this challenge remains in workforce integration policy. BC has tried to speed things up with the International Credentials Recognition Act, designed to make recognition fairer, faster, and easier for internationally trained workers. That's progress, but it also quietly admits the truth. The old system was too slow for the reality of 2025-2026. International students, working rules changed, and uncertainty became part of the job search. International students face a double pressure. They're building a future and managing immigration rules that can shift mid-degree. Ottawa's official guidance says that as of Nov 8, 2024, eligible students can work up to 24 hours a week off campus during school. That helps a bit, but it also highlights a constraint. Many entry-level jobs in Vancouver are scheduled in ways that don't play nicely with course timetables and hourly caps. Then there's the post-grad runway. The federal government notes that PGWP eligibility requirements changed as of Nov 1, 2024, including new requirements for many applicants. In real life, that policy complexity becomes another barrier. Students aren't just competing for jobs, they're competing against time, paperwork, and the fear of falling out of status if something goes wrong. And the outcomes show friction. Statistics. Canada found that in 2023, 30.9% of international student graduates with a college diploma felt overqualified for their job, higher than Canadian grads with the same credential. That's the "I came here to build a career" promise, meeting the available jobs right now reality. Discrimination and resume math, the part people whisper about. Some barriers are quiet but powerful. Name-based bias, assumptions about language, stereotypes about foreign schools, and the tendency to hire through familiar networks. Experimental research in Canada has documented differences in callbacks linked to foreign backgrounds and signals on resumes. When hiring gets flooded, as it has in many sectors, shortcuts become more likely, more automated filtering, more reliance on referrals, more safe choices. What social media is showing, unfiltered. If you want the raw emotional data, Vancouver's online forums have been screaming it for months. People describing hundreds of applications, few responses, and constant ghosting in entry-level markets. International students and newcomers show up in these threads, not as statistics, but as people trying to survive Vancouver's costs while building something bigger. Mainstream social feeds echo the same theme. CBC Vancouver has highlighted how many international students end up concentrated in low-paying service sector work, even when their long-term goals are professional careers. It's not that service jobs are beneath anyone, it's that the city turns a temporary step into a long-term trap when mobility is blocked. So, what does 2025-2026 add up to? A tight job market plus expensive living costs plus policy complexity creates a uniquely Vancouver version of the same national problem. Canada brings in talent, then underuses it. Think of it as a leaky pipeline. People arrive ready to contribute, but lose momentum to credential delays, Canadian experience filtering, and the survival job treadmill. Analysts and policy organizations have been explicit that overqualification and underemployment are persistent, systemic issues, not a newcomer deficit. If you want a brutally honest one-liner for 2025-2026, the barrier isn't motivation, it's translation. Translating education into recognized credentials, translating experience into local fit, translating immigration status into employer confidence, and translating all of that fast enough to keep up with Vancouver rent.